Oh, we're gonna bust it on Chris P.
What are you guys gonna do? Fucking shit. That'll be sabotage.
Man. So, if you couldn't figure it out, Travis Mass is our guest.
This week on Barbell Shrugged, we interview Travis Mash.
Cue the music.
Shocker, bro.
Sucker, bro.
Barbell Shrugged is brought to you by you. To learn more about how you can support the show, go to barbellshrugged.com and sign up for the newsletter.
Use proper language.
Say record.
Yeah, record.
It's not tape.
Welcome
We're
to
taping the
Barbell
show.
Shrugged. I'm Mike Bledsoe here with Doug Larson and Chris Moore with CTP behind the camera. We're down in Miami for the Miami Classic.
MIA Classic.
MIA Classic put on by CrossFit Soul.
Yep.
So Danny Lopez something. I can't pronounce his all of his. He's of that Cuban descent with the multiple last names, and
Let's call him Danny Soul, man.
I call him Danny Soul. That's how he is in my phone for that
We
reason.
have butchered that dude right now.
Sorry, Danny. I think he'll be okay with it.
He's so cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Here with Travis Mash, of course. The guy who has been programming for me and coaching me in weightlifting and just twisted my arm into lifting on Sunday.
I can't wait.
I wasn't going to lift because my shoulder's been a little wonky.
You'll be fine.
And I was like, I just man, I've lifted probably, I've weightlifted maybe 4 or 5 times in the last 4 weeks. I've done a lot of other training with other people, but I've been traveling. I've had a really weird schedule. Running, doing air squats, push-ups, funky things. Ended up in a bodybuilding gym a couple times. But
That's still cool.
yeah. Oh, I got the T-bar row the other day.
Love that.
Oh man, yeah. Last week I'm in Vernon, Texas, and which is 14,000 people, and we didn't. Wichita Falls is an hour away, and there's like 3 places to weightlift there, which is awesome. But I don't want to drive an hour there, hour back.
Right.
I'll be gone for half a day. So then I was like, we'll just go to this bodybuilding place.
Yeah.
Bench pressed, did some T-bar rows, some dips.
Peg deck.
Yeah, actually, it's old school. There was no like pec deck.
They didn't even have that peg deck that's real long.
I don't think so. They may have.
Nothing wrong with a pec deck.
Cable crossovers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that T-bar row is maybe the most underutilized thing in the history of gyms.
I loved it, man.
It's
I was
probably
like,
the one thing that CrossFitters and
Revving it out,
weightlifters should be
baby.
doing just 10 times more of. There's rows of every conceivable kind.
yeah. So like, I'm in this bodybuilding gym. There's these young guys in there training. I go in there. I start my 30-minute warm up. Starting it off with rolling around a lacrosse ball, doing all my stretches. Then, I do like a total of like 100 reps with just an empty barbell.
I was just saying all the
overhead
BS
squats. And they're like, that dude doesn't train. Like, I can tell what they were thinking.
They must look at you like you're an idiot. Like, what's
Yeah.
this guy doing? All this rolling around shit. Of course, like 18, they don't know the importance of rolling around on the floor for 30 minutes. They will
Nor
get it
did
soon,
I.
won't they, Trav?
They will.
It's indeedy.
I feel like you're extending your warm out as long as possible so you don't have to go back to your in-laws.
That could also be.
Yeah, partly true. No, yeah, and then I finally started front squatting. They're like, man, the only time we see people front squat is in that CrossFit stuff. Do you CrossFit?
They said that to you, right?
Yeah, and I was like, yeah, I do that, but mainly weight lift, and explained it to them.
Well,
it was a funny
some
interaction.
of the best bodybuilders I know heavily utilize the front squat, like Platts and Ronnie Coleman. All those dudes crush the front squat. Like Coleman can do like 500 pounds for sets of 10 in the front squat.
That's where I first
Quad
found out
development,
about
man. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah,
The front squat, bodybuilding, yeah.
I was front squatting, but I always did when I back in my bodybuilder
Those
days.
dudes don't want to do it because it's hard as shit, and they just want to bench press.
Well, they just want to put
curls.
If you can't put the maximum amount of weight on there, they don't want to do it.
That's the problem.
Yeah, on that Ronnie Coleman unbelievable video, which I think is on YouTube now. He has like 645s per side, which is like what is that, 585, and he's just repping it out.
Yeah.
Does like 6 or 7 reps or something like that.
And he also
Something ridiculous.
utilized powerlifting methods. He would wear a squat suit to overload his squat, which is actually pretty novel for a bodybuilder.
Actually, my favorite part of that whole video is when he does bent rows with 5 plates, 495 for like a set of 8.
Not the cleanest looking row you've ever seen in your life, but shit,
Definitely not. But
if you're rowing 500 pounds, it doesn't need to be clean.
Bro, if you're throwing around 500 pounds, you're gonna get muscular.
I think
You're not gonna not be strong. You're not doing it right.
I think Ed Cohen was probably a hell of a bent over rower too, right? I think I've heard stories of Ed doing like easily probably 500 pounds.
Yeah,
rows.
but it was strict. Now everything he ever did was super strict.
Yeah, bend over at the waist and pull it right up to your chest,
Pull it,
control and
stop,
lower that thing
down.
down.
2 second
Yes.
pause.
Yes.
I don't know about
That was a guy who could do conventional and sumo deadlifts. What was his best? 900 pounds at
The-
what, 240?
903. No, at 220. Actually,
220.
a light 220. He was 215 pounds, if I'm not mistaken. 903 pound deadlift.
And can do that conventional or sumo, which anybody's ever tried, one or the other, you know that's pretty extraordinary.
Usually you're better at one or the other.
Absolutely.
But to be great at both.
well,
unbelievable.
Ed Cohen is certainly one of the best powerlifters ever. But for all the people that don't know you and Ed are like some of the like 2 of the top guys to ever live.
Both of us, we actually competed against each other once in the same weight class, and it came down to the last lift. But he beat me.
Oh.
But
Remember what the numbers were?
We both totaled almost 2,300. And that was that old single ply, stuff. And it was good.
Toe to toe with the man.
Yeah, it was toe to toe, back and forth. There was a big hype about it, and he beat me. I really don't. I'm going to say this: there's a lot that happened that could have gone the other way. I should have won. I really believe personally I should have beaten him easily. I hate to say that, but I just he caught me at perfect timing. But you know what? I caught him at the end of the day. I caught him not at his peak either. So,
what was the lift you made your mistake on?
On squat.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was. It's a funny moment. I'm pretty sure if you look deep in the the cyber world, you'll find this blooper of
On
me.
the Google somewhere.
Yeah, it was a 900 plus. It was maybe 940. Walk it. We had to walk it out, and it got caught as I'm walking back on the rack.
Oh.
And it threw it off.
Now you get your abs fatigued and shit before you try
Yeah.
to squat that.
Well, no, it gets worse. So it gets caught.
You fart at the bottom?
It's going crazy. It gets worse than that. And so one spotter on one side grabbed it.
that
And so it gets worse. And so I'm like,
Jesus.
I'm like, I got it. And then by the time you let go, plates slide.
Oh shit.
And then throws me around. And I'm thinking I'm good because I grabbed the rack. But the rack fell on me. So I'm literally I'm literally buried under a rack.
God was trying to kill you.
940 pounds of weights. So I'm laying there and I'm like, I know I'm dead. I
Yeah, you
know
could
it.
have fucking died.
Man.
Yeah, I know it. So they uncovered
And you still
me.
total 2,300 that day.
Yeah.
I fell under, my worst fall was under 850. Like I took it out of the rack. It was at Columbus, Ohio. I forget which one. But I took it out.
You know which one. You just don't want people to find that video.
Man, it's such a painful memory. 2 falls. One was I had 850 and the bar slid off my right shoulder just enough, and then it slid off quickly, but it stayed on the left, so it kind of folded me back on myself, and for some reason it kind of slid this way, and it folded me back, and I flopped over like a fish. The second time was in a warm-up room in
This is the best.
in Pennsylvania. Dude, I picked up 700, one warm-up. Not heavy, but I pick it up, I squat it, but of course the weight settles into you a little bit, and I had that monolith not quite set where it should be.
That's the worst.
So I just had my feet planted, and I just go to lean forward to
not
put it in the
there.
rack, and I didn't move my feet. The hooks weren't there. I just fucking dump. 705.
Oh my God.
I fall face first on the fucking ground. And I throw 700 pounds into the monolith. It fucking annihilates the monolith. You can imagine the noise.
man.
And every motherfucker in the whole complex, like this whole big auditorium, walks backstage and goes, "What is going on?" I'm just laying on the floor with a squat suit, my knee wraps tight, just like oh shit.
Get me out of here.
Get me out of, can I Star Trek my ass out of here right now and just pretend like this never happened?
But one of the, I'm not calling you a rookie. I'm just saying that's one of the most rookie mistakes.
This is only my second meetup.
Yeah, see, and they want to just where they just barely get it out of the racks.
Yeah.
I always get the racks at chest level because I know by the time I'm done lifting, it's going to be lowered so much.
Yeah, it eats into you.
But all rookie powerlifters make that mistake. And if I was worried about them beating me, I always allowed them to do it. I was like, yeah, it's perfect.
You'll be fine.
Yeah.
Well,
little higher.
We're here.
little higher.
We're not paralyzed. We did not all the mistakes in the world.
No, yeah.
Well, we always say, CTP, clip that in, and we never do because we're fucking pressed for time. But if we can find that video or either one of those videos, I really would love to clip that into the show.
I would like to find
Shake
it.
the camera like this.
We won't. Man.
It was awesome. So, I mean, somewhere I was told it's on a powerlifting blooper out there.
Like on a DVD
in the ether.
No, like
on YouTube.
No, on YouTube. Kind of like the CrossFit bloopers they always put up.
Oh, I made a blooper video once.
If you're a fan and you find that video, link it to this episode. link it on Facebook or on YouTube or something.
Yeah. Definitely find that. Oh,
Yeah, put it in the comments on YouTube.
yeah, before we go any further, make sure to go to barbellshrug.com, sign up for the newsletter. Boom. All right, now we're done. That's our commercial. By
Now
the
we
way.
can proceed.
So earlier we were talking about adaptation, and you were saying that a lot of people really don't understand it at a deep level. So can you just kind of touch on that, how you view adaptation versus how you see people view adaptation, how they're not necessarily 100% correct?
All right, here's where I'm going to go, and I'm going to make this simple, unlike what we were talking about earlier. It wasn't. If anyone has ever worked a blue-collar job, I used to work for my stepdad in the lumber business. And the first month or two was hell, and literally got worse at it because I started hurting, couldn't sleep, and I got slower at my job, and the Hispanic, workers that were there were yelling at me to hurry up.
Crushing your ass every day.
Killing me, making me look like a fool. Yeah. But after a month or two, I started to adapt. It started to get easy. I didn't hurt. I got faster and become more efficient at my job. Working out is the same exact thing. It's work capacities, one's ability to perform work, and we become more efficient. But at first, in a lot of phases with my training, as Mike knows, at first is pure hell. I'm trying to force an adaptation. I'm trying to force your body to reach new limits. This is pretty simple.
Yeah.
Okay. So
brilliant job, Coach.
Loving it.
Yeah. So if I beat the crap out of you at first, and I forced the body to fire at a much higher level.
Which you did, because I had a hard time sleeping some nights.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then, then I drop the volume down and your body's still firing. Then you get that super compensation that happens and you get stronger.
That means you get better.
You get better.
People in the audience,
Boom.
if you do a workout that's tough, this shit's hard, man, and I'm not getting the results I want. It's been 4 weeks, man. I'm getting slow. This ain't for me. I'm jumping to OPT or something. I ain't doing this shit no more, or whatever it is. I want something new, a new program that'll work. Biggest mistake you can make, right? Because everything that's happening in your body from top down, genes are firing, upregulating, hormone changes are happening, tissues are being rebuilt, but this shit takes time. Your nervous system's adapting, but this takes time. Your skeletal system is slowly growing and changing. This takes time.
Right.
Your attitude towards it, your perception of the pain, all this shit is unfolding.
Right.
But hell, it doesn't happen in a week.
Look at the workout. The workouts I send. You can look at the end and you'll see my plan. You'll see that I'm purposely trying to beat you down right now. Yeah, I'm trying to force you to get crushed. That's my goal. But you should, though, take it into your own hands to do extra recovery, to eat better, to sleep better, to maybe go to the chiropractor, maybe go get a massage.
Yeah.
You should do those things, but you're still going to get an ass beating. I mean, it's just, that's how you get better. I mean, I do it to myself.
So everything you just said sounded pretty basic. It sounded like the obvious and intuitive way that it should be. So where do people go wrong? What do they do that isn't what you just said?
They second guess, everyone, I don't know, everyone wants that immaculate workout where, they PR every single week. Look, let me think about that for a split second. If you PR'd week in and week out, in 3 years from now, you'd be
Hercules.
You'd be squatting 10,000. I mean, it doesn't make sense.
It just doesn't work.
If you'll slow down and think about it, my goal is for you to, in weightlifting for the snatch, clean and jerk, a 5 or 10 kilo PR is monstrous. So if I can produce that,
Oh yeah,
we're
I'll
happy.
take a 1 kilo most of the time.
Right. So to think that in 12 weeks or 13 weeks or 6 months, you're going to get a kilo a week, it's not realistic.
We got Alex in the background chuckling. He's chuckling because
He's probably looking at booties on Instagram or something.
Yeah.
That's his problem.
Alex has the best Facebook news feed ever.
He's like, I ain't paying attention to the training talk, man.
Yeah, Alex is one of our 6-month or our muscle gain challenge coaches, and he has. If you're friends with him on Facebook, then it's a treat because you get to see all the booties he likes. He subscribes to all the booty pages on Facebook.
Oh yeah,
all the fitness models, and he's always like, "Oh, I like this," and there's constantly girls commenting on it. It's a funny interaction to watch happen on Facebook.
Speaking of Instagram, man,
sometimes I just look over his shoulder at his phone as he's scrolling through his feed.
Coach Trav has posted some monstrous lifts on Instagram lately.
I have been. Yeah, we have the Bar Slamming Festival coming up in August.
Which is great.
What a
Bar
great
Slamming
name.
Festival.
Yeah.
Oh,
I like the word
That sounds
festival
fun.
being pulled into what we do.
yeah.
We should make it
kidding.
like a 4-day event.
It's going to be.
We hang
It's going
out.
to be like a 3-day event, like a picnic. We're going to be doing it stuff outside. It's going to be like
what
a York
weekend is
picnic.
it?
It's August 30th through 31st.
Man, he's got the weightlifting picnic niche
Yeah.
nailed down. No one is doing that.
Yeah, and so
Oh,
we're going to do
This shit is
weightlifting,
genius.
powerlifting, and then we're going to do a CrossFit. But it's going to be more of a barbell CrossFit. It's like I think
yeah.
they're going to do
Cool CrossFit.
yeah, well, they're going to do a Grace
Not the handstand walking cross.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, not like gravity
Grace
shit.
at bodyweight.
Grace
Is that
and
what you
body
said?
weight, and
Whoa,
then like what's it, Isabel? Is that right? What is the
Isabel's a
snatch
snatches,
one?
yeah.
Yeah, and that's at like 0.75 of your body weight, and so
that's-
The little guys are like,
I
great.
like
The
that.
big guys are like, this sucks.
yeah.
I wish I could do
exactly.
math to figure out what that would be for me. I don't know what the fuck that would be.
What do you? Yeah.
I'm like 0.75 of my weight, which is too much. So I'm thinking a snatch is too much for me to do.
I thought you meant you had to do math to figure
It's
out what body weight was.
3/4 of too much.
Yeah. Did I hear you're going to go for a 5 lift total?
I'm gonna do snatch, clean and jerk, squat, bench, and deadlift. And
Shit,
then
you're making me
Oh,
feel bad.
you threw a challenge out there
$1,000 if you beat me, which you won't.
at your body weight.
Yeah. You got to be at my body weight. It's gonna be a 2-hour weigh-in, so you can do the bull crap. I'm gonna, almost die and then gain 20 pounds. You got to do it right. This is impossible. I really believe.
I think it'd be impossible to beat you.
I don't
at that
think
as well.
Kendrick Ferris could beat me. There's no way.
What is Kendrick benching?
He's here.
Anybody know this?
We'll ask him.
So,
We'll ask him tomorrow.
Forget all these lifts he thinks he's so good at. What does he bench?
if he's not going to squat 700, he's not in the ball game. So I mean,
Well, I know he's got those sub max reps of 600, so he can crush. But I don't know how much he pushes 1RMs. I don't know what he can actually go for.
come find
Don't
out.
be surprised.
Oh shit!
So you hit. I've seen you hit a easy like 350 power clean.
Yeah,
Well, it looked easy. I don't know if it felt easy.
I've I've clean and jerked around 170 already. So my goal is anywhere between 170 and 180 clean
I
and
said
jerk, and I'm
pounds, ladies and
already
gentlemen.
there.
Ladies and
Those are
gentlemen,
kilos.
this is what you're 40 years old.
41.
41.
Yeah.
Power clean 350 pounds. I seen a
I
front
just hope I
squat.
can
Pause
power
front
clean a
squat.
barbell at
Seen a
41.
pause front squat with 550 pounds. Right? Is that
Yep.
your best?
That so far.
Damn.
Yeah.
It's not my all-time numbers, but
Did you do a set of 5 and back squat like 565 or so? Just recently?
for reps, I've
Yeah.
tripled that. Yeah.
Yeah, triple.
So,
So one thing that is curious to me, I'm getting in the club where I'm 33 years old,
Right.
same age as Jesus. I know.
Yep.
I got more to accomplish to match that.
I don't think Jesus is 33, man.
He was.
he was
He was 33.
Yeah.
when he
I got-
died. 32.
That's
or
what I'm
33,
saying.
yeah.
He's not 33 now, though.
Well, okay, whatever.
He's like
Beguiles the point.
2033.
What I'm saying is, I'm not a 23-year-old powerlifter anymore who can just do dumb shit
Right.
and get strong. At 33, the joints start to ache.
You got to be well thought
You got to
out.
really. I mean, for me, intensity is no. I can squat heavy all the time, but volume is a fine razor edge
Correct.
in volume. So I'd be really curious to know, because I'm sort of looking into the future, wanting to stay strong. What do people need to know who maybe are on the master's level, who want to get strong as shit? What is allowing you to train this hard now?
Conjugate method, I'm going to give Louis Simmons a big shout out, is the fact that I can go heavy, but when I do it, like say when I snatch, clean, and jerk off boxes, it doesn't kill me, not near as bad as when it's off the floor.
Yeah.
So, also with squats, I'm always doing something a little different. Like I'll do a pause, or I'll use chains, or I'll do a light method. So I do a lot of
Light method being. For those at home, light method being you hang the bar from a band.
from a
It
band.
stretches and lightens the load as you go down.
Right. And so it deloads it. And like you said,
We're not being immature, people. He said doo-doo like 3 times
Travis
on the
and I are
Barbell
having-
Business podcast.
Doo-doo.
And now he got called out and now he just did it again.
Here, Travis-
That's why we laugh.
Travis and I are having a serious
Dude,
grown-up conversation.
dude.
These assholes are talking about doo-doo.
damn it.
Yeah.
Now I know something I need to work on. Boys, I am from the mountains of North Carolina. You got to give me a break. man.
Scotch? Yeah, thanks.
Oh, I'm
we
combining
do-
coffee and scotch right
We
now.
can do this on the podcast. It's awesome.
There you go, buddy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course.
Oh,
Cheers.
thanks, man.
Cheers, Trav.
Mine will be coming in a second.
Cheers, fellas. Hey, oh, cheers.
Cheers in the air.
So you got to carefully watch volume. Like you said, you were
No
doing you were using Louis' approach with special exercise. Something I think Glenn and his crew at Muscle Driver do too. Like we talked about,
They do.
the key to lifting heavy. I think the key to being strong, one, is you lift heavy all the fucking time. But people think that means in their mind they max the same thing all the time and keep pushing it. And a lot of people who think you can't lift heavy all the time, they're thinking if I went in the gym and a squat every week. Well, that's true. But subtle changes in these lifts allow you to train it heavy every week, and you can stay strong without getting too fatigued in any one direction.
Exactly. And I just can't do like a lot of the 10 rep maxes that I get my young lifters to do. Now that will wax me for a long time. So,
You gave me 8 rep maxes a couple months ago.
you're young. When I was your age, I could do that.
Dude, those 8 rep max days, I went to bed and I was just like, my whole backside was just throbbing so much it made it hard to sleep.
Yep.
You really pounded your backside, huh?
So, but as long as I keep the reps, between like 1 and 5, and I don't do like multiple sets. Normally, I keep the sets only to 2 per exercise. I'll work up to like a heavy at what I'm doing in the Olympic lifts, and then I drop down and do 1, maybe 2 drop sets, and that's it. Squats, I'll work up to a rep max, whatever I'm doing, 1 down set. That's it. That's the volume where I'm continuing to get better week in and week out, and so
You don't change
Thinking
anything.
long term.
Yep.
Yeah. You still training like a 12-week block?
I've been this one a little bit longer because I was so out of shape, and so it's taking me to get back to where unless I'm in the 7s on squat, I'm not even close to my potential. Yeah. So like I knew I was way out of that. So it's this is more of been like a 20-week block. But
So you do the main lifts, a lot of variation. You watch the volume. What about the small stuff?
I don't
begging the question.
I don't do as much, like the whole good morning thing. I don't do a lot of that because I used to do it and I got a big return, but the risk became too much. And for me right now, the risk does not outweigh the reward.
What's the risk there for you?
My back, I want my spine. It's taking a beating. When you think about my whole life of football in college, Olympic weightlifting at a very high level, powerlifting at a
I can speak to the football
level.
beatdowns.
Yeah.
It's tough, man.
And then bobsledding, fighting like you. Not so much controlled fighting, but
Not in a cage.
not a cage in a bar.
Fighting on the streets.
yeah. So
Fighting for milk.
Yeah. And so look, my body is just wrecked. And so,
Yeah. So the last thing you're always training around is your achy back.
the good mornings seem to really, it's at a risk. I told you about my neck. So good morning is sitting right there, it seems.
Yeah.
And so it's just a big risk for me. So
So what about like single leg stuff, dumbbell exercises,
Some.
RDLs, maybe snatch grip pulls for reps?
pulls for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely pulls. I do a lot of muscle snatches. I do a lot of glute hams. So
Big
but,
reverse hyper fan with your achy back.
I don't do a lot of reverse hyper. Mainly, we don't have one. So, but I've used them in the past.
That's the biggest
buy
thing,
this
really.
man at Verse Hyper.
So yeah, buy me a
Dude,
reverse hyper.
you want one?
So, but
I'll probably owe you one by now.
yeah, but glute hams are awesome. I do a lot of that.
I love glute. That's something that doesn't happen with most CrossFitters or weightlifters too. Is enough glute ham raises. They see the GHR machine, which was designed to develop your hamstrings, and people do sit-ups on them,
The
I don't
older
do that.
one thing,
which is perfectly fine. But
I think-
there's a lot of other really great uses. Actually, I think that it's more useful as a glute ham raise than a sit-up machine.
My personal opinion on that is, yeah, absolutely. I think doing the CrossFitters are gonna be mad again, but like all these sit-ups, it's. If you guys know Dr. Stuart McGill,
yeah,
yeah,
a lower back specialist.
If you want to hurt your lower back, keep doing your sit-ups. Especially the glute ham sit-ups.
When I was at my best power there, I never did any. The only kind of ab work I did was my favorite exercise of all time was I'd put like an ab mat or some kind of pad by my butt, and I'd lean against the power rack upright, and I would choke a heavy blue band above my head, and I would grab it and pull it down over my shoulders, and I would sort of do a standing crunch for high reps to sort of mess with it, kind of like Louis did a lot of standing work. Never sit-ups, always a slight rep stuff, but I figured, I just got through squatting 1,000 pounds. My abs are fucking,
Seriously,
I've gotten trained right there.
If we stop to think, now, this is truth. This is not my opinion. I know all the crunches and the sit-ups is worthless. And if you stop, not to be directly at you, but if you think about what the abs were meant to do, is to stand upright. So why in the hell do we do this? Which is a terrible posture in the first place. When really, when you think about it, what, with the abs, the rectus, the rectus abdominis. How many times a day does it really do that motion? Once to get
Twice.
During pooping.
Twice if you take a nap.
to get out of bed or to take a nap
And pooping.
So, but they really,
You gotta squeeze it out sometimes.
but what they really do,
Like a dog in a yard.
sex. I guess you could say sex, maybe.
Yeah.
At that moment.
No.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what. The other night I used it for sex. I mean, it got a little wild.
Yeah, you know what? I take that back. I do a lot of crunching.
Yeah, but just have sex. Just do that.
Yeah, just do that.
That's great GPP.
Less crunches,
But
more
like
sex.
the pause squats, that is where I get my ab work.
I wish
Yeah.
I could name the episode we did, but we did an episode specifically on core strength, and you're spot on. Like your abs are there for stability. It's supposed to be there
Upright.
so you can transfer power from your legs to your arms and from your arms down
Right.
your legs. So, crunches may be like a tool, but like maybe 1 out of 100.
Maybe.
So
Yeah, but you put
That was probably like 100 episodes ago. So if you
It
haven't
was
heard
like
it,
100
it was a
episodes
long
ago.
time ago. It was like a year and a half ago.
Doug, you want to run through? I think you have like the best explanation of the 4 different types of ab.
Well, the technique wads we did on are probably the most informative thing. We did one on resisting extension, which is kind of what you're talking about. We're not designed to flex forward at the trunk, and that's not
Right.
what our abs are supposed to do. It's supposed to keep us from popping our ribs up and hyperextending. That's more common for our rectus abdominis and for our external obliques
That's
to
awesome.
do.
Yes.
So there's resisting extension, there's resisting lateral flexion, like if you hold like a big heavy kettlebell in one arm.
Agreed.
You would want to flex sideways, but you pull yourself back up, or rather you keep yourself from bending over in the first place. And then there's things like resisting rotation, where my shoulders and my hips always face the same direction. So if I have a baseball bat and I'm going to swing, I'm going to turn my shoulders and hips at the same time. My shoulders will trail behind my hips a little bit and it'll give me a kind of a snappy, whippy effect, and I'll be able to hit the ball a hell of a lot harder. But what I won't do is I won't turn and be totally broken where my hips are facing that way and my shoulders are dragging way behind. I'm going to pull my shoulders along for the ride because I have strong, stable torso muscles that are going to be able to help me hit the ball really hard.
Another good example that would be applicable to CrossFitters would be kettlebell snatches or single arm kettlebell swings.
Right.
That's an anti-rotation right there. And when you see someone rotating during that, stop them.
Coach them.
Yeah.
That's where it's time to coach. See, exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
I love that. That is the greatest explanation of abdominal exercise I've ever heard.
Well, it's
I love
Doug you're
it.
talking
Cheers.
to.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
like, doing the weighted carries, the one arm weighted carries, as long as you coach them up on it and don't let them lean,
Right.
it's the best exercise you can do.
I know another ab exercise I did during the powerlifting days. Yes, I was hugely fat, and that's one reason why I squatted a lot of weight. But this also, I think, helped. Suitcase
Oh,
holds.
yeah.
Like I would put a barbell in a power rack,
Money.
and tie a bunch of fucking bands around it, and I would grab it right in the middle.
More bands, the
and,
better.
and pick it up and just try to hold it and think, keep upright, keep upright, keep upright.
Money.
And you've never had an ab stimulus like that. This is even better than farmers walks for me.
So you
I just
had me
remember
do,
we're actually doing show notes now, so we can link that up below the show. If you go to barbellshrugged.com, under the video, we can put links to those videos.
Yeah, I can put all this shit in there.
Chris does the show notes.
You actually had me do an exercise, which I'd seen done. I kind of like, and I saw it, and I actually had a Doug show me. I was like, what is that thing again? It was a stir the pot on the Swiss ball.
Yeah.
Dude, those are surprisingly
Dude,
hard.
He programmed, that was like the only abs you programmed for me.
That's the only ones I do
And,
much,
So I did some stir the pots. And I
Tell
was
the people
like,
what that
oh,
is.
shit.
That's not a very CrossFitty thing to do.
It's
It's anti-CrossFitty. And,
It really is. It looks very Globo Gym, but it's a good exercise.
But my
It's straight from
my
heart.
abs were like lit up all the way across the board the next day. I was like, well, I guess I needed that.
Stuart McGill, man. That's who I got that from. If you want to continue to do strength exercises for a long time, I would recommend reading anything by that dude, Stuart
Yeah,
McGill.
go read Low Back Fitness and Performance by Stuart McGill.
No doubt.
If you're a strength coach or a CrossFit coach, then that's the book you want to read. He has another one that's more for like clinical practice for doctors and PTs and whatnot. But if you're a fitness guy, go read Low Back Fitness and Performance. It's really
Exactly.
good.
He's Canadian, right? But don't hold it against him.
Yeah, University of Waterloo, right?
Some of those Canadians are pretty smart. I don't think they have anything else to do.
We know at
study
least
and
one
whatever.
really smart Canadian.
Terrence and Phillip?
Terrence and
Phillip.
Phillip.
No, I'm just fucking around. But yeah, this
I know a lot of smart Canadians.
Canadian.
Props to the
Co-Canadian.
Canadian.
Charles Pulligan. I mean,
I'm not that smart.
Yeah.
That's why I pronounce it that way.
Yeah, Paulaquin, John Berardi.
Yep.
Two easy ones that come to mind.
But I was going to tell you earlier, Travis. We talked about small stuff. I myself, I think I got zeroed in on this after a discussion I think I had with Glenn one time. But talk about how as you get older, obviously you can't quite do the volume on barbell lifts, especially like in powerlifting for me. Like I can do heavy all the time, but not the reps. Can't do 5x5 fucking squats.
Right.
It beats me up too much.
It kills me. Yeah.
Can't do a lot of bench pressing. But what I can do back raises and glute hams for days.
No doubt.
And it's one thing. And that's one thing I learned years ago from reading notes on how Alexiev used to train weightlifting.
Yeah.
He would do huge amounts and huge volumes of back raises and glute ham raises, like 100 kilos on his back, just as like a maintenance thing, like 5 sets of 10 before and after workout every day, just because that was what kept his back and stuff in shape. And for me, I find doing stuff like that, doing 5 sets of 10, just hands over the bar deadlifts just for reps.
Brilliant.
Lots of like lat pull downs because they're easy and light, but all these little small things, just ways to do a bunch of work to keep me in shape. So while I'm not doing all the barbell volume, I can stay strong.
Dude,
stay
today we did, thank God CrossFit Soul had the reverse hyper. Because with all the traveling, all the sitting, man, if I walk into a CrossFit gym and they have that reverse hyper, like I make sure not to leave without using it first because it makes all the difference in the world.
Yeah, I used to do it really heavy, but if you just get on that thing light for 2 sets of 15 before and after you train, it makes all the difference.
I usually just do it with weights, but you strap some bands on it for me today and try to
I never do it without a little bit of band tension.
Dude, bands and chains, if nothing else, they're just fun. Let's be serious.
Yeah.
Let's just talk open right now. They're more fun than anything. Do they work? Yes, no doubt.
Yeah.
But it's just fun to put that shit on there. You know what I mean? Like
everyone feels cool using
it looks
chains.
cool,
Sounds cool.
I think
people love it.
I did some banded safety squats today, and having recently got back into chains, I just love chains, like heavy, like chain gang squats, as the powerlifters call them, where you put a little too much on there, where it feels like you're just squatting up out of like quicksand.
Yeah.
Like the more you try, the more nothing's happening. You just fight all the way to the tippy top, and it doesn't muck with your form so much.
Right.
Dude,
even
you
if
had
you're
me
not-
do front squats, pause with chains,
Yes.
like 5 rep max.
It's just pulling
with
you
chains.
forward.
I was like,
Like, how do you keep
what?
upright with that shit going
Dude,
on?
it was tough, man.
That is ab. That is a great ab exercise. Or you know what? Another one is Zercher anything. Nothing will wreck my abs more than Zercher.
Zercher is terrible, terribly good.
Terribly good.
It makes you hurt.
Dude, I like I like to do Zercher carries.
Me too.
So get a yoke, set it down nice and low.
For the audience,
Dude,
Zerchers
that
are where
stuff.
the barbell's being held in the crook of the elbows. So like they used to do on the farmer's walk, the walks with you just kind of hook the bar in your elbows and hold like you're going to curl it with your fucking
Yeah, it's a great. Let me drop
elbow joint.
a knowledge bomb on you here. When people hurt their hand or their wrist and they can't do something, you can do RDLs, you can do squats, you can do deadlifts,
Zercher RDLs.
you can do
Yeah.
pickups. I mean, you can do so much by using Zercher. So if you're a coach listening, man, learn about it because we use it a lot and I love it. So
You can also do if you have a safety squat bar, you can kind of use that. If it's pain's an issue, you can kind of choke your hands around it and hold the yoke.
Yeah.
So you can use more weight comfortable. That's what I used to do.
I like the yoke because it's just thicker.
I used to I like the fact that I could do it and it hurt and everybody else would cry about it. They would use like a
Made you
towel.
feel good.
Yeah, and
Don't use a towel.
I would squat. I would do Zercher squats with 600 and not use
shit,
a towel.
dude.
Damn.
It was just my way of being a dick, I guess.
Really, that little piece of advice you just gave, that like super tangible piece of advice where if you hurt your wrist, you can do Zercher RDLs
Yes,
or something.
no doubt.
Like that's a really cool thing that I've never thought to do, a Zercher RDL. Zercher squat, sure.
We just
but-
used
or
it.
carries.
One of my athletes, who's probably my freakiest of all athletes I've ever trained. He's a young kid. He's going to be a junior next year. His name's Cade Carney. He's got 6 Division I offers already.
Damn.
And he hurt his wrist a little bit. It was the weirdest thing. It was like an injury he already had, but he was doing it clean, and just on the pull, something happened with a little small bone. And anyway, so during
bones.
Who needs those small bones?
it was a little, but he had a cast, and so we couldn't do cleans or pulls. So we did all Zerchers.
What do you say to the guy who's like, "Well, coach, you can't train me. I hurt my wrist, man. I got a cast on."
And I'm
Go
like,
home, play
oh,
fucking
you're getting
video."
ready to have fun now, man. Yeah,
That's right.
yeah.
Remember you said in your seminar, you were like, man, if you come in with an achy wrist or something, you don't want to train, get the fuck out of my
Seriously.
Something along those
You're
lines.
called. You're called.
You're not
a
very
weightlifter.
tolerant. You're not very tolerant of little nagging injuries and people bitching about them, from what I understand.
No, how do I say this without sounding like just a dick? But here's the truth: is that at our gym, the culture that we have, it's an elite culture. It's like all my lifters are there because they want to be the absolute best. My athletes are there because they want to be the absolute best, and most of them aren't going to be. And so, if they're going to whine about a wrist, that's not going to fit the culture. And so,
Certainly a real injury is a real injury, and you take that into account. But we're not
Absolutely.
talking about that right now.
Everybody's seen the program and knows the quote: "Are you hurt or are you injured?"
right? Are you hurt?
The
Are
hurt
you-
part is just always going to be there.
Yeah, no, when one of my athletes get hurt, I'm going to address that quickly. and very definitively.
I know when John North first started training with you, he said that you suggested a number of things for him to do that were very beneficial on the therapy side of things.
Yeah, like he started going to a chiropractor ongoing because he's notorious for having back issues, and so we set him up not while he was hurt, before he got hurt with a chiropractor, so he prevents it. All of my elites, here's the thing: when you get to a certain level and you're at that level of being one of the best in the whole world, you're also at that level of being one of the most hurt in the whole world. That's just the way it goes. And so
there's no more margin for error anymore.
Yeah. So go ahead, get on top of it. Be proactive. Go to your, the really good chiropractors and the PTs and the good massage therapists before you get hurt. Because when you're hurt, you're screwed, man. It's too late.
Yeah. When I'm my best, I'm in therapy every week. At least once a week.
Well, people forget that's as important. That is a whole training variable.
Yeah, I spent an hour getting stretched out and, sports
the
massage.
strong athlete, there's a piece of a pie that makes the strong athlete.
If I don't do that, it shows up in my training. It also shows up in my ability to sleep, because if I don't, then I might be too hurt to even, fall asleep comfortably.
It was kind of like to Mark Devine's point about how he conceives training a warrior. I think training anybody at a super high level is the same thing. Like, there's the shit you do with a barbell.
Right.
That's super duper important. Everybody gets that, but some people think that's all there is.
No way.
And they fuck around with warm up or mobilization as kind of a pastime thing.
Right.
But they don't consider that to be as important. And then there's the shit that goes on with your mind. Like, you're a nervous wreck. You constantly doubt your programming. You get scared before heavy lifts and all this shit. You forget that, 5-10 minutes a day of just mindfulness training could make you a strong motherfucker, because you can attack your training more efficiently.
You guys are hitting on a great point. Like, all good athletes do the big things. They lift the weights. They come to practice. They probably eat pretty good.
It's the fun stuff.
The great athletes become the master of the mundane. They do I think I might have said this on the first one, but they do the little things. They go get therapy like you do. They take their nutrition super serious.
By the way, therapy, $100 a week, out of pocket.
It's worth it, man. Yeah.
People go, "Oh, that's not covered by my insurance."
So what?
Like,
And
is
you
it the
wanna be a
best?
fucking
Is that
winner
what
or
you
what?
need, or is it covered by your insurance?
Yeah.
No, just do what you need.
Dude, if you're
You
going
can
to
go
say,
get different insurance.
don't come to me if you're going to say something like that. Go to somebody else. Yeah. Go get better insurance.
I can get different insurance. I guess anybody could, but yeah.
Yeah.
But that's the point. Like, if you're gonna look, a lot of people say they want to get strong and fit, and a lot of people want to get good at CrossFit. A lot of people want to get good at that. If you're not gonna fucking commit with everything you can physically commit to and financially and emotionally commit to, you're just not gonna be your best. How do you
don't
expect
say
to
it.
fucking set a world record or something? And then don't be the guy who bitches and moans about not doing it, or say, "Well, that guy's got." He don't have to work. I got to do all this shit. That's why I didn't.
Whatever.
You didn't commit, man.
That
you didn't
guy,
fucking
that
commit
guy
to it.
committed. He, maybe financially more than you did, but some people, they want to have their cake and eat it too. Most elite lifters, weightlifters especially, are poor.
No doubt.
The money they do spend on things like therapy. Let's take a break. When we come back, we'll now that we've got enough scotch in us, we're just gonna bitch about the athletes.
We're going to bitch about athletes that bitch too much. Welcome back to Technique Quad. Today we're going to continue on with the squat series. Video 1 was the overview video of the squat. We give you all of the points of performance for squatting. The big 3 were heels down, neutral spine, and knees out over your toes, or at least in the same plane as your foot. In video 2, we went over front squats. Video 3, we went over back squats. And now this is video 4. We're going to go over spotting and dropping weight and how to do that safely without hurting yourself. All right, so for the spotting and dropping weight video, we're going to talk about, again, front squats, back squats, high bar and low bar, and we're also going to talk about box squats, which we'll probably cover in one of the later squat videos. So first we're going to talk about dropping weight and how to go to failure safely without having a spotter to save you. You shouldn't need anyone to save you for the most part. So if I go over here and I'm doing a front squat, front squats are the easiest ones to fail on because I can squat down, and then if I can't stand up, it's easy. I just drop the weight on the ground. Oop. I just drop the weight on the ground, and it's no big deal. And I can do that without hurting my wrist. I don't need to be like in this horrible position before I decide to drop the weight. For me, once I go here, I push. I rarely try to get way out of position before I drop the weight. I just get here, and I kind of just give it a little bit of a hop back, and I drop the weight on the ground, and I don't blow my wrists out before I drop it. I don't drop my elbows before I drop the weight. I just go, okay, I can't stand up, and then I just bail 100%, and then I
usually have to strip all the weight off and load it back on the rack, which is kind of a pain, but you know, you don't hurt yourself. Problems that I've seen with people trying to drop a front squat before is I've seen this a number of times where someone is down and they stand and then they go like this, they drop their elbows and then it hits their knees, and then now their elbows can't drop anymore and they kind of get locked in place, and you see my wrists getting cranked back like that. They go like this and it hits and then it tears on the wrist really hard. So you want to make sure that you're here, elbows are up, and then you kind of hop out of the way a little bit, or at least make sure that you're tossing it forward and your elbows aren't going to crash down onto your knees. So I haven't seen that many times, but it's happened to me once before, and I've seen it happen to other people. So you want to avoid that for sure. Back squats, for a high bar back squat, a high bar Olympic style back squat, it's going to be easier to drop that because generally you're a little taller and upright with your posture compared to a low bar back squat where you're more bent over. It's hard to bail the bar behind you when you're so bent over. So again, here's the distinction for a high bar back squat. I'm here, it's high on my traps, and then when I squat down, I'm pretty vertical for the most part, and I don't have the best squatting leverage, but still I'm pretty tall, and if I'm here and I need to just kind of step out, I can just drop the weight off my back. Generally, we don't let people drop just the barbell unless they absolutely have to, but I'm doing it for this video so you can see me from the side. And then for a low bar back squat, if the bar is not on my upper traps here and it's a little bit lower like that, for the most part there, say I have a wider, more powerlifting style stance and I'm squatting down where I'm way more bent over, it's harder for me to kick the bar behind me because I have so much further to go before I can drop it off my back. And if it's really heavy weight, maybe I stand, my butt pops up, and now I know I can't stand up. Well, how am I going to get it off my back? It's going to be harder than if I just had someone there to spot me. So for a low bar back squat, I'd rather have someone spot me where they can just help me back up as opposed to trying to drop it off my back or trying to do what I've seen people do before. And sometimes they don't really mean to do this, as they try to go under the weight, where they go like this, and then they try to throw it over their head, and that's far from safe. So I've seen people do it before, and they've made it out unscathed, but it doesn't mean it's a good idea. So with a low bar back squat, you want to have a spotter, someone either right behind you to help you up, maybe even two people on the sides to help with it if it's a particularly heavy barbell. Once you're getting over 300, 400, 500, 600 pounds, having one spotter usually isn't ideal, and you want some people on the sides too. You see guys squat 1,000 pounds, they got two people per side plus a spotter behind them. So for a low bar back squat, it's probably better to have a spotter, and we're going to cover spotting here in a second, especially if I'm doing a box squat. So if I'm here and I'm doing a box squat, especially a low bar box squat, I sit down, and then if I can't get up, I don't want to drop the bar onto the bench. It's going to hit in the middle, and then it's going to spring like that, which is dangerous. You don't know where it's going to spring. You know if the weights are going to fall off and then it's going to flip over. You don't know if it's going to break the barbell. If it's going to bounce back towards you and potentially hurt you. You don't know what's going to happen. So you don't want to drop the bar on a bench. There's nothing good about that. So you always want a spotter when you're doing any type of a box squat, especially if you're using bands. Bands will accelerate the bar towards the ground really, 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 really fast. And it's probably not going to fall off your back. It's going to scrape and shred your back. I've seen that too with guys that have big scars on their back from getting shredded from a sharp bar. This person didn't even have bands, but it still hit them in the back and it messed them up pretty good. Hi, Corey. So we're going to grab Mick Goldrick real quick, and I'm going to show you how to spot. All right, so real quick, I'm going to show you how to spot somebody on a front squat. Again, you don't have to actually spot most people on front squats. The benefit of actually having a spot for something like a front squat and a high bar back squat, even though you could drop it, is that for experienced people that are going to be doing a couple of heavy sets, you can just give them that little bit of a bump just through like 2 or 3 inches of their sticking point, and it will allow them to do a few more reps on that set. A couple of forced reps could potentially help you get a little bit more of a stimulus, and that's going to help you gain some strength. So for new people, you don't need to spot them and make them do forced reps. This is for advanced people, and it's not something you necessarily even need to do all the time, but it is an available option for advanced people that need it on occasion. So here's what that looks like. If he's going to do a front squat, a few things. So number one, I don't want to be way back here. If he needs me to help him and I'm at arm's length, I'm not going to be able to help him. Number two, you know, you're only going to have to like squat down with him once you can see he's having trouble getting through that sticking point. But once that point comes, go ahead and squat down. I'm going to be here, nice and close. And for the most part, if I just know I'm going to bump him through a sticking point and not really save him, I'm just going to push up on his elbows like that and just kind of bump him through the sticking point. If I actually have to save him and he goes down and he's not going to make it, I want to be close enough where I'm squatting right next to him, very friendly, where I can push his elbows, and then if I need to, I can kind of just pick up his chest. Like I grabbed him basically with the crook of my elbow right underneath his lats, right underneath his shoulders, and you got to be really friendly. He's like right there, and I kind of got to give him a little bit of a shove, but we're like totally close, and so it's cool. Back squat, pretty much the same thing. If he does a high bar back squat, same thing. I see this all the time with beginners. You know, they want to feel like they're helping somebody, and so they're way back here. Maybe they're looking at him, and then he starts to stand up, can't make it, and they're just like, and they try to grab him like this with their hands. And if the bar is heavy at all, that's not going to work. And then what happens is they go ahead and stay squat down again. They go here. He can't stand up. I try to save him. He knows I can't save him, and then I try to get closer at the same time. He tries to drop the bar, and he drops it on top of me. Okay, so that's obviously bad. Again, you want to be nice and close, and you're going to do the squat with him. I'm going to be here, and then I'm going to come up and like right here. If you want, you can put your hands all the way like right here on the shoulders, especially if you're squatting a female. You know, you don't want to be like this and just pick them up, or maybe you want to, but you shouldn't. But you're going to put your hands right here on the shoulders. That way you can actually use your upper body. You're almost connected shoulder to shoulder to help pick them up. And then if you really have to, you can give them a little bit of a shove with your hips just to push their hips forward. If their hips are coming up and they're bombing forward.
Man, I'm gonna start spotting more often.
That's right.
Spotting's so cool.
Mike's been holding out for us. He just did a bunch of hard-ass intervals. He's about to throw up. Good man for helping out with the video, though, anyway. Yeah. You can throw up now. He just flops over. Yeah. Huh? No, dude. No, thank you for doing that. This is great TV. All right, real quick, I want to show how to use side spotters. You can use just a single spotter behind you. You can use oh, he's being a trooper. You can use 2 side spotters, or you can use a person behind you plus the 2 side spotters, so you have 3 people total. For the moment, we're just going to show you what the side spotters look like. If you have just side spotters, you're going to want to have them basically not touch the bar at all. They're not going to give you a forced rep and bump you through your sticking point. They're going to just basically save you if you need it. So you don't want one guy giving you a little bit of help and the other guy not giving you very much help at all, and then they're tilting you or pushing you, you know, teeter-totter back and forth side to side and making you get off balance, okay? So if I'm doing a low bar back squat, which is usually what I would use side spotters for the most part, they're just going to be having their hands right underneath the bar, and they're kind of going to squat down with me. And then if I get down and I can't get back up, they're basically going to say, okay, they're going to basically just pick it up and save me from missing the lift. Again, they're not really just going to like help me. They're going to say, okay, he didn't get it. And everyone's going to communicate and say, take it, and they're going to pick it up and put it back in the rack. Oftentimes when you watch power lifters, there's 4 or 5 or 6 people all around the one lifter, and they're like, everyone's kind of watching, and then they just go get it, and everyone just picks it up all at the same time, and they put it back in the rack, or they just pick it straight up, and the monolift comes down and grabs the barbell. So thank you, fellas. Appreciate it. All right, that's it for the dropping weight and spotting video. Hopefully we'll come back and do a box squat and an overhead squat video. And then again, maybe a few other ones that we haven't figured out yet. So if you're interested in seeing the rest of the squat series or the snatch series that we did and the clean series that we did and the jerk series that we did, you can go to barbellshrugged.com, click on the episodes tab at the top of the page. We also include a best of section where if you want to watch the best technique WOD videos, the best barbell shrug videos, and a bunch of other cool stuff that we threw in there. There's a best of section of that tab now as well. So I will see you another day. Thanks for watching.
And we're back. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, so the whole plan of the next half of the show is to talk about how we complain about...
We're not back.
Are we back? We're back or no?
Well, once I have a glass of scotch, I start
totally
staring.
back.
I start staring at the computer, really paranoid, going, "I don't see the red lines, man."
We've all had a
I don't
scotch,
see-
and Chris actually gets paranoid on alcohol. He's the only one I know. No one.
Nothing else. I get paranoid on, but that
Seriously.
shit. I'm like, is that line moving, man?
Are we on right now?
Yeah,
We are.
this reminds me of our first episode with you.
Yeah.
At the very beginning. Are we going? Are we on right now?
And what does shaka even mean?
Shaka bra.
That's right.
Shaka, bro.
All right. So, what brought on the conversation for the first half of the show? We were talking about athletes because I want to put a little context in this. I want to tell like an actual story, things that actually happen, and why we're discussing this. Is this happens to me? I think I was complaining about it maybe, and then you're like, oh yeah, it happens to me all the time too.
Yes.
And then Alex, our muscle gain challenge coach over there,
Looking at big
he's
booty
over
girls.
there like nodding his head and going, oh my God, yes. Is, so often athletes 1 or 2 months into a new training program are going, I don't feel like this is working. I don't feel like it's enough, or I feel like it's too much, or I don't feel like I'm getting strong. And they're just like, you're like, whoa, whoa, whoa.
Whoa.
And we actually, on Barbell Business that we did right before this, we talked about something called periodization, which is a big fancy word,
Which means plan.
which means you're going to plan
You have a
to
fucking
be
plan.
good at a certain time.
Yes.
Which means that you're not going to be getting better every day.
No.
So, like, at a certain point in the program, you may feel weaker than you did earlier in the
Right.
program. And 3 months down the road, that's when you're supposed to feel your best.
Absolutely.
In my opinion, 2 weeks before competition, you should feel terrible. I usually do.
Then taper.
The taper begins, and then on the day you're supposed to lift, you'll feel like Superman.
Boom.
Well, you know what is
Yeah.
what periodization is to me is that you don't do what you could do at any given day. You got to think like a fucking pool player. Like, what makes a good pool player? People play pool who don't know what the fuck they're doing. They go, I see a shot, and they take it. And the next shot, they go, I don't know. Okay, now I don't have a shot. I go, oh, and they miss and make 5 bad shots. They don't think that a good
What
pool
a great
player.
analogy.
A good pool player goes,
Great analogy.
I got to think of, if I take this shot, what is the next one, and then one after that.
That's the best training
Yeah,
advice
yeah.
I've heard Chris give in like
Yeah, you set up the
20,
shots.
30 episodes.
You set up the shots with the final. You set up all your shots with the final fucking 8-ball shot in mind. That's the only one that matters.
Boom.
Oh
Damn.
my God.
Show's over.
That was the best periodization example I've
wrap
ever
it up.
heard.
Yeah, scotch. Cheers.
Oh,
Cheers. To scotch.
congratulations on the fantastic analogy. That will now go into Travis Mash's book.
He should.
He's going to
You
totally
have
rip
a
it
drop.
off.
Yeah, but it's true.
This dude, I'm friends with Travis. He has my number. He can text me. We do text. And he never told me that he's got a book coming out. And he dropped it on me like while we were taking a break. Oh, yeah, maybe we should talk about the book I'm almost finished with.
Almost.
What?
You shouldn't hide that so well.
I've been giving a few excerpts here and there in my newsletter. And so,
So who's not signed up for the newsletter, Mike?
yeah. Yeah.
Why don't you support your
You get called out, dude.
I'm a
Me-
busy.
me and Chris Moore
Here's
knew
the thing.
about it.
I'm a busy man. I get hundreds of emails a day. I have a hard time.
Boy, bro, we're all busy, man.
He's signing for 100 other people's newsletters.
No
that
doubt.
jerk.
Yeah. I bet he reads Louis Simmons. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I can't read Louis Simmons. That shit is so confusing.
Yeah.
No, apologize.
no,
Louis.
Louis.
His articles are actually really good.
No, Louis is great. I'm kidding. Some of the conversations
So-
we have have been
Well, okay, but here's the question: what is the West Side Method?
There is no method.
There is no.
No, I mean, I have my perception of what it is.
Yeah.
But then when I get talking to somebody else about it,
Like your boy AJ.
yeah, his perception is different than mine. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, all right,
What is the
That was
stud?
the first slur of the show.
What is the
Great.
stud there? What's their top dude right now? The man.
It's
I lift in
it's-
2
it's,
days. I'm slurring.
it's Neutron. I forget his actual name, but the guy totals over 3,000 pounds.
Yeah. What?
Holy
Oh,
shit.
oh my
Holy
God.
shit.
What?
What
When I
is it?
first started training at Westside,
Showstopper.
when I first started training at Westside, Neutron, I apologize, man. Neutron was like 100, not 100 pounds, but he was like 215. The guy's like 280 now, and his totals over 3,000 pounds.
Damn.
Yes.
10-year time, he had gone from like a 2,000 pound total to a
Possible.
fucking 3,000 plus total.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
And that guy, we have talks, and he tells me about what he does. There is no method. There's some good outlines as to what to do, but each of them adapt those outlines to whatever works best for them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
So-
hear the guys at Westside, the guys that train at Westside full time, a lot of them are just kind of, they all do the same 50%, and then the other 50% of their training is
And then each Each
kind of
crew,
they've kind of done
whatever
something
works
different.
best for them.
And each crew is radically
Oh, yeah.
different too. There's
The
a couple
AM
PM
crew
crews and
versus-
AM crews.
yeah.
They each do radically different things. They do what works for them. Like any athlete who wants to maximize their performance has to train and suffer long enough to where they know the basics work. Hey, the barbell shit has to be there. At
Right.
West Side, the speed pulls need to be there. The max effort attempts need to be there. But the exercise selection and the little things you do after are totally 100%
Yeah, you're still having
individual.
max effort days. You're having dynamic effort days, and you're doing assistance work. Rep schemes are similar. However, yeah, the movement
But the
selection.
idea that there's
and then,
a program.
Let
is
me
stupid.
drop a bomb on you guys right now. That is not necessarily true because this guy
Oh, geez.
doesn't really do speed days.
All right, now you're gonna really confuse everybody.
Yeah, but
It's even further.
he does.
But when you were at Westside, you didn't do speed days.
I did,
Oh, okay.
but I'm not this guy. And since he told us,
you're talking about
it's-
another guy.
yeah,
not
it's-
this guy.
yeah,
We're not talking about neutrons.
Dave,
Dave Hoff.
Dave Hoff.
Dave Hoff, damn it.
Dave Hoff. And so he does
Talking about Dave
a
Hoff.
chain squat routine. Literally, I wrote about this chain squat routine a decade ago, but now he doesn't do like box squats or speed squats. He uses
Is that when he squats down and pauses onto the chain?
onto the chain and then he comes up.
So, for the ladies and gentlemen in the audience, you have a
Pause.
chain.
What does that mean?
Listen, I'll explain this to you. Let the
Yeah.
meathead power talk. you put, if you have a squat rack or a monolift, whatever it is you're squatting out of, you have some sort of support over your head. So you loop a chain over that and under the bar, and the length is set to where when you squat down to your desired depth, the chain,
bar pauses,
The
your ass
chain,
doesn't.
the chain hits the bar and chain make contact, and you pause completely. Then you squat off of that. So it's a way of knowing where you're at
I
exactly.
wrote a sick article.
That
It's
sounds
kinda
way
like,
harder
it's kinda
than
like
box
bo-
squats.
it's
Like a bottoms up
box
good
squat.
morning?
Yeah,
But
it hits
opposite?
that, and it's a cue to stop, and it breaks it, and you come up from that.
Here's what think about what is beautiful about that is that there's no impact on the spine. See, when you sit onto a box, I don't
Yeah.
care how you do it.
Oh, yeah.
There's
That is
impact
genius.
on the spine. When you sit into a chain, there's none. I wrote a sick article a long time for Elite FTS
So you
about
say
it,
that
Yeah.
maybe that's like box squats, but
without the damage.
with
And
like,
he knows exactly.
it's like
with
meta box squatting.
with like pinpoint precision, he knows exactly where he wants his hips.
Because he has it
to go.
color coded, just like okay.
Color coded.
Let me tell you, in 2006, I did a presentation on this very thing at UNC Chapel Hill. There was me, Lawrence Seagrave, and what's the great coach in Louisiana?
Hatch.
Yes, Gail Hatch. The three of us were there, and I presented on this very thing. And yes, you have on the chains, coded like, this is like 4 inches above parallel. This is 2. This is parallel, and this is 2 inches below. And so, and you wrote you just did a basic periodized program saying, okay, I'm going to max out at 6 inches above or 4 inches above for a triple, but I always ended below parallel. It is an awesome
So
routine.
as you get closer to the meet, you're walking down the depth.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're overloading and you're dropping it, then you're overloading
Guys,
and you're dropping it.
This routine,
That sounds awesome, actually.
I'm going to rewrite
I'm
it.
in.
I'll write it for you guys, and you can release it. It literally. Here's what people don't know.
Sweet.
I squatted 1135 in training, doing this routine right before I wrecked my neck. So my squat was at an
Unrelated to the program.
all time. This is true.
Oh fuck! Why'd you break your neck?
Probably 1135 squat.
Well, hell, I mean, people don't realize how incredible. I've witnessed 1,100 plus squats.
Did you hear that?
Yeah. I've witnessed 1,100 pound plus squats several times. That is the fucking most intense thing you can possibly imagine. I don't care the circumstance. I don't care what you're wearing.
No doubt.
People don't know what the hell they're talking about until you felt
It's heavy.
1,100 pounds.
Just put 1,100 pounds on a barbell and try to stand.
I've
up
done it
with
with I've done it with band stuff. Like I've had like 700 pounds on the bar, and then band tension on top of that with equipment, like working to really just blow my nervous system out to where I got to the meet, I wasn't going to be affected by anything. And you have no way of describing with words what fucking 1,100 pounds feels like.
The most I've ever had on my shoulders was 850, and I
Yoke walk, right?
Yeah, it was a yoke walk, and I felt like my body rejected it. I felt like my entire skeletal system was like,
Yeah.
we're all
Warning.
Yeah,
Put down the weight.
They're like, fuck you.
Like your
Stop
intestines
doing
were
this.
going to shit out
That's
your
the point. Like
stomach.
if,
It wasn't even
if you-
intestines, just like the bones on bone was like, no. I had that feeling like this is not like anything you've ever experienced before. You should stop.
Yeah.
You do a program
Never
like
gone
that
over
chain
700.
squat program, you're just training yourself to really blow through any any like artificial limits on what you might be capable of doing. Like you're just getting your body used to things that it's trying to scream to you to please put this down.
You're getting your central nervous system prepared.
Every Golgi tendon organ in your body is being like shut off with this weight.
Yeah, no doubt. That is true.
Jeez.
And so, I mean, that one routine, this chain squat that Dave Hoff does.
I want to see this.
Money.
Yeah. Is he gonna write it up for us?
I'll write it up for you. I will go find it, and then I'll give it for you. I'll give it to you guys.
And FYI, if you're a CrossFitter who squats 300 pounds, don't do the chain squat routine. I don't know if that's really
hell
sense
no.
for you.
No, don't do that. No, only if you're maybe a weightlifter, but probably just a powerlifter. But I mean, it could work for weightlifter maybe.
Yeah, I was thinking if my shoulder doesn't hold up, like it's been acting kind of funny. Maybe I should just power lift a little bit.
Get strong.
I want to squat 500 under 200.
I really think I can fix it, but
yeah,
can you fix me?
I don't think anybody. No,
my shoulder feels better. I started doing Mash's program about 3 months ago, and my shoulder feels way better than it did then.
But now I know what your problem is. Now
as he looked me up and down, he goes, "I know what your problem is now."
I don't know what that means.
So that kind of stuff doesn't work, Travis. But for the common, let's say for strong CrossFitters who want to peak their back squat or a lift in the off season, or for a weightlifter who wants that, recognize they need to get maybe over the fear of taking a huge squat and they need to break through. What kinds of hacks would you recommend? Like things like partials or holds or walkouts.
Yes.
What kind of stuff would you do for a guy who wants to go from they could squat 500, maybe they're scared of it. Or their weightlifter who squats, they want to break. They want to. Or your CTP who could. This guy.
I was gonna say you just had a whole bunch of people listen to you guys nerd out, being like, "Oh shit, yeah!" And half of them probably can't use this. So yeah, you got to sum this up for the people and convince them not to do it.
No, I mean, I wouldn't say you necessarily shouldn't do it. I mean, I just think that until you can squat, 600, there's other things you could do. I want to get
What percentage of our audience squat 600?
My fault. So I want to get you do want to get the most out of the leagues.
We have 5 listeners that squat that much.
If you want,
maybe
first step. If you want to get your squat in the 3s or 4s, the first big whatever your first big century mark is, I would do the pauses. Pause, getting comfortable. Here's the reason most people don't squat big weight: they're afraid of the bottom. So being super stable in that bottom position is a big way of overcoming.
That's
so
amazing.
Just a normal front squat, normal back squat, go down, pause for what? 3 seconds, 5 seconds, 7 seconds.
I would
What's your favorite?
I would periodize that. I would start with 5, then go to 3, then go to 1. Now let's front squat. Or now let's back squat.
Get over the fear of being in the bottom.
Get over the fear. And then I would do...
Be a power bottom.
The lighten method. Then I would do...
abs.
If you don't get that reference, just go watch Always Sunny
Google
in
power
Philadelphia.
bottom. Google submissive power bottom.
Don't do that.
Then step 2.
Don't do that at work.
I would do the lighten method, like we were talking, where you walk out with a good 50 to 100 pounds more than you're capable of. But as you go down, the bands are pulling up. You hook them to the top of the power rack.
I'll reverse band.
Yeah, money.
We'll put a link in the show notes to people who can.
If you do those 2, that'll get you to where you need to be, and then maybe think about.
I think there's so much that people need to understand is that what's limiting your strength is not like you don't need to do some magical fucking combination of reps and sets and shit. You just need to be. You got to train enough to where you get over the fear and raise your expectations to the point where you believe that, yes, I can be strong. I mean, anybody can be pretty strong on a back squat. You got to get over the fear of it.
Bro, let's put science aside. Here's the thing.
Fuck science.
When you walk out.
We do normally.
when you walk out with a weight and that shit feels like it's about to break your back, you get scared.
Yeah.
So when you
fight or flight, baby.
So when you can walk out with a weight that could potentially kill you and you love it and embrace it and get over that point, then you get strong. And so... that is the thing. Is like, are you willing to give something that could potentially hurt you a run? When you can do that, you can get strong.
How do people? It reminds me of people.
I'm inspired right now.
People are scared of putting plates on a squat bar.
Yeah.
I think the other thing I hear most of all is people go, I do pretty good at fucking power cleans, man. But when it comes to squat cleans, what do you recommend, Chris, I could do to get it's a fucking another fear issue. Like when you pull a heavy clean, what separates a guy cleaning what you want to clean from what you
Fear.
clean now is fucking fear. It's not like some magical Chinese exercise you fucking find while Googling or YouTubing. No, you gotta be able. You gotta have the fearless. You gotta jump underneath a load that you're scared of. How do you get over that?
You know,
that sounds so bad.
you gotta challenge yourself.
There's a lot of. Well, never mind. I'm gonna leave that one alone.
I'm just saying, like,
How do you overcome that fear? Someone answer that.
is challenging yourself daily, and that's periodization. Is putting more weight on the bar slowly in different ways. Lighten method, pause method, adding a chain. Chains kind of like help people because they don't really officially know how much is on the bar. You know, there's lots of little ways you can trick it. But at the end of the day, you should ask yourself, I am more afraid of not putting that weight on the bar than I am of putting it on. When the day comes that I don't put it on, that's when I know I'm old and I'm not ready for that. So I'm much more afraid of not putting it on than I ever am of putting it on. These guys know I'll put the weight on.
I mean, is that also why you need a coach though? Because he can be like, you know what, you need to fucking slap some more weight on there.
You need to slap some weight on, yeah.
Like anytime you do start to creep down that fear path, someone can pull you back in just a little bit. There's always going to be an up and a down. Having that coach to always pull you forward is going to be super beneficial compared to training alone.
And you know what? These dudes, now that they've been with me for a while, you got my boys over here.
That's them.
They're all typing like nerds.
Now that
Working like nerds.
Now that they've been around me for a while, they're not afraid to say, quit being a pussy. You know what I mean? Put some weight on the bar. Whereas at the beginning, they might have been, but now they'll be like, come on, man.
But aren't you getting at isn't that right there? We talked about what West Side is. Isn't that what West Side is? You go to an intense place where you're in a crew, like with the way powerlifters train. This is the way most people probably could benefit from training this way. You have like a group of like 5-6 guys, all strong, all barking at each other, all relentlessly coaching each other. Everybody's a fucking coach in a powerlifting gym. There's not like, here's a coach and we all respond to him. No, everybody is relentlessly coaching each other. And everybody's pushing a pace. And everybody is setting a standard. And you hit a weight, I go, motherfucker.
No doubt.
I'm hitting that weight. And it's the escalation is what makes powerlifting strong.
That is West Side Barbell.
That's West Side.
That is West Side. That is what I was looking for y'all to say. That is the West Side method right there.
I was about to say it.
Between me and you, Travis, I was about to fucking say that shit.
Is that at mass, somebody, I'll mess around with them all the time, and I'm like, dude, how do you let a 41-year-old man beat you? It drives them crazy. Now, I'm not saying it to be, kind of a dick, but, not completely. What I'm saying is like, come on. And they are coming. I know they're coming. And they're like, I just, so bad they want to beat the old man. The whole point, that is West Side. That is MASH. That's the OTC.
There are these great stories.
Yes.
The coolest stories I've ever heard of Louis, where he would try. He's tried to fucking retire like 800 times. He's like, you know what? I don't want to do this shit anymore. I'm retiring. What brought him back in? What made him even stronger and stronger and stronger through his 40s and 50s, or whatever, was people like Chuck and all these lifters who were great saying, hey, fuck you, old man. What you doing? You sitting down? You ready to quit? Fuck you, man.
They do it to me all the time.
He kept going, man, they're dragging me back in. He'd get pissed off by this and jump right back in and then crush his old PRs. People don't understand that being strong is not about fucking stupid programming and stupid little fucking tricks and hacks and little exercises you find on the fucking internet. But you fucking Google yourself to cows come home late at night. Getting strong is attitude and belief. You got to get around strong people, load up a fucking bar, and get to fucking work.
That's exactly right, Chris.
People don't get it, man.
Fucking slam the microphone.
Drop it like it's hot.
If John North is here,
that microphone costs $300.
There's 1,000. I don't want to pay for this shit. But there's 1,000 ways to get strong. Everybody in the world trains 1,000 different ways, and they all get strong. They all eat 1,000 different ways. Motherfuckers in China are eating rice, and guys over here are eating bacon, and they're both squatting huge. What else is important? It's important because they believe they can be strong, and they're pushing each other. With everything else that's untangible is what makes people strong.
No doubt. Donnie Schenkel said this. The 4 things that are important. There's really a 5th one. I'll tell you on this one, the 5th one. Normally I leave it out. But the 5 points of being a world champion is this. You got to know your minimums, meaning on any given day, what am I capable of? Know your maximums. What am I at the end of the, what is my maximum load I'm capable of? A fearless attitude, which is what you're talking about. Being able to be fearless of any weight, group. Having a group that will challenge you, like Westside Barbell. And the 5th one is PEDs. I mean, that's just the truth. You guys Mark Smelly Bell, you already talked about it, but
Yeah.
those are
Most CrossFitters don't call them PEDs; they call them steroids.
all right.
If
Steroids.
you didn't know what that
Yeah.
was.
So
122 with Mark.
yeah. So that is
Episode 122 with Mark Bell.
which we just listened
Episode
to.
122
Awesome.
with Mark Bell.
122.
Episode 122. So those are the 5. That's the program. That's your program. Are you fearless?
You're not talking for anyone. You're talking for someone who wants to be world champion.
Dude, I'm talking about really in life. If you want to be more than just a pussy, that's the 5 things you gotta do. You know what I mean? Like, I'm being serious. Like, it's all relative.
USADA's showing up to my door tomorrow.
Yeah. If you want to get better at something, man, dude, you gotta be fearless. You do need to know your minimums. You need to know. You need to know these things, and you got to have a good group that will train, that will push you, even in CrossFit, even at your all's CrossFit. If the CrossFitters want to get better, you got to have other CrossFitters that are.
If you're in a CrossFit gym, and you need to get stronger. You squat 300 pounds.
Right.
You have some fucking bullshit dream that you're going to be on this track and make it to CrossFit Games. It's not going to happen. You need to take your ass out of where you are.
Yes.
Find somewhere where the average is 600 pound squats, and you will squat 4 or 5, and you will go back to that gym and crush the shit out of your wad.
And I actually think that's actually the benefit of some of the online.
Exactly.
You got online programs.
Yeah.
We have online programs.
Right.
And there's community there as well. And a lot of people, like you were saying, put a lot of emphasis in the program. And it's good. You don't want to have a bad program. You want to have a good program. And there is a difference. However, people get in on those groups and they see other guys in the groups
doing well,
and they're competing with them. They may not be there in person, but they're crushing it and they're posting. And they know who they're close to and who they're competing with. And that's what's going to really push you to the next level.
That's the program.
Yeah, that's the program. Is the coaching, the interaction with the coaches, and the community.
Yes,
those are just as important as the program. People put so much emphasis on programming. They always want to know this and that, but if they're not pushing as hard as they can, and for most people, that's going to involve a coach and a community.
No doubt. Look, I take very much pride in my programming. And like we were on the beach this was maybe a month ago. We were in Wilmington at a competition. I was on the beach working. I'm under my umbrella. I'm the guy. But I'm
it was so hard.
I'm sitting there joking. I'm writing programs and I'm reading. I'm researching. I got my books here.
Hey, people don't know how hard it is. Okay,
no doubt. And then I'm writing my programming, and it's like my art. It's my wife is a true artist, but my art is my program. And so I'm writing it and I'm laughing. I'm saying, you know what? You guys should be drug tested for being on my program. It's so good. But at the end of the day, the truth is this: is that it's the community that is much more important.
Yeah.
It's a good program, yes. But a good coach that will help, to increase your technique and to give you hints and to say, brace your abs and, push out against your belt, little things like that. And then it's that community that they get in the groups,
Yeah.
Man, dude, if they're listening to this show, write this shit down. This is money right here.
Just listen to it 5 times over.
No doubt.
We told you to be strong.
All right, so you're working on a book.
Yes.
You don't have a title for the book yet.
Yeah, I'll tell you what it's about. It's for brand new. It's really for the CrossFit community. It's for people that just starting the Olympic lifts and strength training. One of the things that just drives me crazy is putting the cart before the horse. People just trying to start snatching before they're even ready to do an overhead squat. So it's really just the basics of how do you start this adventure. And it's going to, we're going to talk about, the walk with the barbell. And I want people to do more than just lift weights. I want them to get all the things that I've gotten out of it. Like I've gotten so much out of it. Like my family, my barbell family, like you guys, man, I love you guys like I do my, my brothers and sisters.
Oh, shucks.
And only through the barbell would I, that's the one common bond that we all have. And so I want them to embrace that too.
We all sucked really bad before we found barbells.
Seriously.
We just weren't the same human beings before we found barbells.
So I want them to get that out of the book too.
I'm about to cry on the podcast.
But I want them to understand what they can get, not just get in shape. That is such the surface. I want them to get past the surface, but I want them to do it safely. I want them to learn how to do snatch, clean and jerk, squats, and deadlifts safely and correctly, and in the long run, making them much better at the movements. So it's going to be sick. I want to give them a few of my stories and my walks, and some of the mistakes I made, some of the funny things I've done, and It should be good.
And you've got some really funny things you've done.
I mean, I'm 41, dude. When you're 41, you will too. So
No,
we already
41.
Yeah, no shit.
I've already got them.
yeah. So
I feel like we should crowdsource the name of your book. Like for all the people that listen to this right now, if you have a good name for the book that Travis just described, put it in the YouTube comments. The funnier the
Absolutely.
better, but it has to make sense for the book where when you read it, you know exactly what the book's about. It can't just be something funny that you read it and then you go, I have no idea what that is, and then you skip over it because it's not interesting, it's not applicable to weightlifting.
he's so
Funny.
smart.
That's a great
Funny is
idea.
good.
That was,
He's so smart.
I had an idea for naming the book earlier, but I think his
That's
idea.
better.
We'll use that to get the initial names, and then I've got a way to refine it.
But have a glass of this scotch that you gave me first.
It's key for brainstorming.
It really
Oh,
is.
it's so good.
I feel like the more drunk you get, the better your ideas seem.
Ashley, what's the scotch?
True. What kind is
It
this?
was some cheap ass scotch.
No,
she
it
said.
wasn't. No, she knows what to get me.
No, she got cheap scotch.
Ah.
It doesn't matter because
scotch.
it's still booze.
Did
It
I
does the
feel?
job.
I was.
Glen Morangi.
Whatever.
Glen Morangi.
This
Highland
stuff is
single
good.
malt whiskey. Scotch.
Did we
whiskey.
drink all
It's
that?
all gone?
Yeah, we drink a bottle of scotch. That's why this podcast is so dope, son.
Yeah.
We got fucked up.
Whoa, that went
From now on, we're getting drunk for this podcast. If you want to be a guest on Barbell Shrugged, you got to drink a whole bottle of scotch with us.
yeah. Yeah. Pull your.
Hey, people
pull your
ask me
skirt
all the
up.
time, "What's your favorite episode?" This is fucking it right here.
We fucking dropped hot mics, hot lava mics.
Dude,
into
I'll
the
tell you
ground.
what. We usually want like one or two, things that people can. I don't want people to go through an episode and not have like something they can't instantly take away to benefit their life.
Right.
But I feel like they got maybe 30?
Shit.
30 things.
The whole
that-
thing.
Yeah.
Get out your fucking trapper keeper, write some
You
notes,
can
baby.
listen to this about
Trapper
20
keeper.
times.
Travis had one of those.
Yeah.
This has been great, man.
Yeah,
When's,
well,
when's the book going to be ready, Trav?
So I think we should just keep going.
If I had I think I could get it done in a solid month because I've started taking some time off now. And so I think I could have it done in 1 month.
All right, Travis, you're
not edited. That means completed. Then
you're running a gym. You got a successful weightlifting team. You told me earlier that this is the best team you've ever had.
best.
Yeah. I mean, part of it is you're the best coach you've ever been because you've got all this experience behind you now.
Right.
And you're accumulated these fantastic athletes. You got great guys working for you.
The best.
So you're running this gym. You have the best team you've ever had. You've got this online program going on where you're coaching weightlifting online.
Right.
And you're writing a book too.
Yeah.
Sounds like you're doing a lot. How do you find that? And your wife is pregnant.
Yeah.
Congratulations, man.
And
Thank you.
she's
Baby Mash is on the way.
Baby
Raucous.
Mash is on the way. Raucous. And then
This motherfucker's going to be powerful.
and so where do you find time to write your book? Do you have like a ritual or hey, I have to write so many words per
I have to
day?
at least write 1,000 words every Sunday is the goal. So,
Dude, let me tell you something.
Nice.
That's bullshit, Travis.
but-
That's
Called out.
bullshit, man. You should write 1,000 words a fucking day and get it done.
I mean, I just got
Do
other projects though.
I
That
know, but hey, dude, the nighttime is the best time.
I got. You know what, boys?
what?
He's also what are you snatch and clean jerk right now?
So far I've done 125 snatch and I've done 170 clean and jerk.
And you're squatting what 600 pounds?
yeah, over 6. No, it's in the
Between
60s
6 and
now.
7?
Yeah,
So
I will say this.
you're doing all that. I don't know if 1,000 words a day.
No,
I think 1,000 words
no.
a day would make him less of an athlete. That's the
writing.
problem.
No, writing is
Things in sacrifices athletics.
everything I know about writing is the secret to it is you sit down, you make yourself sit down to the keyboard and do the work. It's just like training. You could put
But
in
he's doing it
1,000
on
words.
Sunday.
You could put in 1,000 words a day and get it done, and that book could be ready in 2 weeks.
I know, but
He doesn't have to have it done in 2 weeks.
I
He's
know.
got a lot of plates spinning, bro.
I do. And look, you can ask these dudes on the way down here from we drove from North Carolina in a big van, big bus for our team, and I started at 3 a.m. I worked the entire way, other than 2 naps. Literally, I wrote a blog, I did a video, several posts, answered emails the entire way.
Well,
so
that's
I do make every. And they'll attest to this.
So you are abiding by the rule. Every day you make something legit.
Absolutely.
That's-
every second
that's-
of every
okay,
day.
that's what I was getting
He
at.
can't do everything he does without doing
That's
some
what I
work
was
all
getting
day.
at. I think what people need to realize, is that if you want to make shit happen, every fucking day you're breathing.
Yeah.
You sit down
I do.
and you make
Well,
something worth sharing.
My wife can attest to this too. I know. I know some people. I Should I go there? All right.
Yeah.
I mean, some people don't realize all the work that goes like into this show too.
No doubt.
And they see a lot of glamorous shots on Instagram.
Do we work? We work all the fucking time.
But we usually take pictures of the glamorous things we do, which we might be in Vegas doing something. We might be getting crazy for maybe, and that might make up maybe 5% of the trip. And we take photos of that time and we do that. But every flight I've had, which it seems like I'm on like 2 or 3 planes a week or something ridiculous. I get on the Wi-Fi on the plane and I am working the whole time. My wife actually just started traveling with me. She can attest to it. Like she's taking a nap. I'm over there working the whole time. Yeah. Like there is no time for breaks.
If you're trying to make shit happen, you're trying to create something, you're trying to be whatever you want to be. If you are like taking weekends off and shit, if you get off at 5 and you spend the rest of the night fucking watching reality TV or dicking around, you don't get it, man.
Literally,
you don't fucking get it.
This is a true statement. I don't even drive myself anymore anywhere because these guys are my drivers. They'll tell you. They pick me up because I use that time even from my home to the gym.
How far is that?
That's what you should do.
It's only 16 minutes, but think about
awesome.
16 minutes, times all the times I go back and forth every single week.
There's
that shit adds
time.
up.
There's no time for sitting
actually,
around.
are you recruiting athletes right now? Are you looking to get more people at your gym? Are you looking for high-level guys to train?
We are looking for either nationally qualified or someone who is getting there, who's got a lot of potential and who's young. I'm going to be honest. I want high level, not like no offense. I don't want a 28-year-old who might be qualified for nationals one day. I got a gym full of those already. Yeah. I want ones who have potential to one day make a Pan Am team or a world team. I'm just being serious.
Sorry, one of your coaches in the back is out there rocking that. He's like, hey, that's me.
I'm 28.
You also might be able to go to the Olympics. You want like a 15-year-old to a 21-year-old that is fucking going to kill it, not going to complain about having little aches and pains and shit, and wants to train at a high level.
We have a living situation. We have money to give them. Obviously, they got me as your trainer. Mm-hmm. Obviously, the place to work out's free.
Yeah,
but
even
it's a killer environment.
Even Mike Bledsoe thinks that Travis Mash is the best choice for coaches.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're his coach.
I'm his coach.
You are the Michael Bledsoe's coach.
That's right.
And you've almost gotten stronger since you started training.
Almost got.
I've
gotten a lot stronger.
I saw that 315 clean and jerk today. It was sweet.
Yeah, I PR'd my clean and jerk.
You know what's funny? At the beginning of his workout, this guy looked like a miserable piece of shit. He's like, fuck shit. And the guy just summons us. He is strong.
You have been constantly PRing.
Yeah, so much better.
Like fucking crazy.
Yeah, hit 445.
More PRs in the last 6 weeks than I've known for the last year.
I can spell about
2 years,
months.
3 years.
And he looks sexier, right?
Well, look at him.
Debatably.
On my wife thinks
Debatably.
So. Ashley, am I sexier? Oh yeah. That's what she said.
See, look, I'm not that weightlifting coach that says, a lot of weightlifters look like they don't lift any weights, but they're strong at what they do.
Yeah.
I'm all about, you got to look jacked too. Come on. Right?
Jacked and tan.
I mean, look at Lou. Look at the Chinese. Lou Zhangzhang.
Oh, the guy looks like an anatomical model.
Dude.
I mean, you're one of the only weightlifting coaches around that knows weightlifting really, really well, but also has a deep competitive powerlifting experience where you've squatted over 1,000 pounds. And
right.
you've been down the strength road way further than any other weightlifting coach, basically, that I fucking know of. So you have both sides of it, and that's a very unique thing, and that's
cool.
part of what makes you very good.
Yeah, that's actually why I chose you, is because not only are you a super cool dude, and you're my friend, and I like you just as a person,
Shaka,
but I mean,
bro.
really is like,
Shaka, bro.
I mean, Olympic Training Center, good enough to be trained as a weightlifter, and then you turn around and become world champion powerlifter.
Right.
You've had the best of both worlds.
Yeah.
If anyone knows how to lift and get strong as possible, it's you. I don't know anyone that has those credentials.
I just wrote an article about being a great coach, and one of the big things is not only having the experience, very important, but the thirst. Here's what scares me more than anything is that there might be a coach out there who might know something that I don't. I will never be, and they'll tell you. I've told them, if I ever think that I know everything out there, it's time to retire. So a great coach has got to have this huge thirst for knowledge, and not just because, yes, I could fall back on my experience if I wanted to, but I want to continue to learn. There's a lot of new things out, so that is very important to being a great coach.
Yeah, I'll tell you this, like I try to do I'm like, I don't need to learn any more training stuff. I've been learning training stuff for 17 years. And I'm like, man, I just need to focus on like business stuff and all this. And consciously I'm going, yeah, I'm just going to like really focus on business stuff because I already have like so much experience and so much education. And then I, you know, like a day later, I'm like, you know, downloading something new to learn, or I'm on Amazon ordering something and like, I can't keep myself from learning more about training, even if I've tried. I've tried to like, you know, it's not maybe it shouldn't be as much of a priority because I already know more than a lot of other people. I'm like, no, I just can't
There's
stop.
so much to learn: nutrition, recovery, supplements, you know, mobility, you know, stability, strength, explosion. I mean, dude, it can go on and on forever, you know. So
you'll never master all of it.
No,
I heard a really good quote one time. It was, hang out with those that seek the truth and run from those who claim to have found it. Which basically means that you've never really truly learned it all. There's always something you can do, and if you think you have it all figured out, that means that you're disillusioned. Like you have figured it out, but you can't see the fact that you're full of shit.
No doubt, Chris. you
have good intentions.
Yeah. He owned the show until that comment. He just stole it right here.
I win.
You know what? He's that boxer
Doug
who gets
wins.
his ass beat the whole time, and then the last 30 seconds goes all out and wins.
There you go. You're my Muhammad Ali.
You know, with that, I think we'll wrap it up. All right, make sure when Travis's book comes out to buy it. We will be putting it out on the newsletter, so make sure to go to barbellshrugged.com, sign up for the newsletter, because no doubt in my mind we won't be promoting. We will be promoting.
Yeah, let's
I mixed
something.
up my words.
And we'll probably let you see a sneak peek of it, and you can promote it, and we'll fucking make sure you see it.
All right, Travis, where do we follow you?
Go to mashelite.com. You can also check out our new podcast, Barbell Life. You know, I hope I didn't really Barbell Shrug, Barbell Life. I feel like weightlifting talk, weightlifting scoop, but
we totally could
anyway,
have had that.
We had the conversation at a bar in North Carolina. We were in all North Carolina, and we were talking about it, and you asked me about it. And I was like, whoever gets to the domain first.
Yeah, got it.
And I was like, you better go buy that shit.
Yeah, so you go to Barbell Life, and it's on Spreaker.com right now, and so you know it's going really well. So it's a full, you know, it's faith, family, fitness, and philosophy with an F.
Oh,
yeah,
there you go. I got you.
So that's how it should be spelled.
I thought you were going to say.
Philosophy. But yeah, check us out. You know, all of my team that's here this weekend wanted me to plug them. So here's what I'm going to say. Go look up their names. You got Adi Zucker, Zukier, Dylan Cooper, who's my freak 17-year-old, Jacob Rabbit Wyatt, Hayden Bowe, Bowe, and go Preacher Sam, and also my man Chuck over there, Chuck _Hendo, you know, checking them out. But
Chuck, give us a wave.
One last thing.
Chuck.
One last plug, because I don't want to be the plug, whore here. But
you plug whore.
Yeah, but I want we are doing what's called Open Doors. It's going to be a nonprofit situation for underprivileged kids, inner city kids, where they can come in, get trained up just like my other kids, also get a little character development, and then we're going to teach them a little bit about, you know, Christianity, Christ, and so check us out there too. And that's it. Oh, you did say to do Instagram, so Mash Elite Performance on Instagram.
Word.
And,
see Travis killing his lifts, man.
And Mash Elite on Twitter, Mash Elite Performance on Facebook.
And if you have a good name for Travis's book, put it in the YouTube comments.
Yes, I need your help.
All right, I got pissed because that scotch is going right through me. Wrap this fucking show up, Mike. I'm like doing the dance here. I'm like, oh, finish those plugs, homie.
We're done. All right, people, if you did not like this episode, unsubscribe from our newsletter.
Wow.
Because if you didn't like this, you won't like anything else we've ever done. All right, Travis, thanks for hanging out with us, man.
Shaka bra.
Thanks, Travis. Dude, we killed that. Fuck, dude.
We were
You
like,
killed
man,
it,
what are we
man.
going
You
to talk
killed that.
about?
Shit.
Before we were like, what are we going to talk about? I was like, oh, only the best episode we've ever done.
Crushed it.